Tampa Bay's game plan this week is very simple. Win. That is it. Win, and you are in. They fly up to Carolina and take on the lowly Carolina Panthers, who have locked up the first overall seed for the Chicago Bears. Ryan and I were going to break down this game and provide our predictions at the end. But before we do that, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to get notified whenever we create new content. Trying to get to 3,000 subscribers by the end of the postseason, so by mid-February. So like, subscribe, and then you can also see all of our content that's going to be coming out for Buccaneers and Panthers football. Ryan, Bucs did not play their best game in Week 17. They've been playing for about a month, really good football here. And the biggest thing, just from watching the game, then just kind of looking back at the stats, they just kept shooting themselves in the foot. Just multiple turnovers. It got down 20-0 here. And against the Saints offense that has explosive capabilities, but also the ability to drive the ball, but they've struggled with that for majority of the season. I feel like the Saints offense had always stalled, and the Bucs also as well. But I thought they'd kind of gotten past that, but they just kind of reverted back to their old ways in such a crucial game here, going up against a Panthers team, which actually they have a solid defense as well. And even when they played earlier in the season, Panthers actually Chuba Hubbard had a really good game against them. So that's going to be a storyline to watch here. But from your view, what do you feel the Buccaneers need to do to be successful and win the NFC South?
Yeah, I mean, kind of what you said, just come in and win. This game last time they played was really close. It was actually 21-18. The Bucs scored a late touchdown to get to 18 with a 2-point conversion. The Panthers scored a late touchdown with a 2-point conversion to get it to 18. But just control the game. I mean, to me, the field position game in this matchup is going to be so crucial, just because Carolina throughout the entire season, and I doubt in Week 18 they'll suddenly find this ability, but they have not been able to sustain drives throughout the entire season. So if you can make them go the full length of the field, that's going to be huge. Another thing, they need to find a way to kind of limit this pass rush and really confuse this defensive line, because if there is one thing that I think the Panthers do really well, it is get after the passer and kind of stop the run. I don't know statistically if they're that good, just because this defense is always on the field, but that Panthers defense is significantly better than the offense, and so I think if they can find some ways to confuse that front, even if they're just getting field goals early on in the game, I do think that would put this offense in a more desperate state, just because of the fact that they have been so inconsistent and really struggled to drive the ball all year long. Another thing, getting after Bryce Young, I think is going to be a thing that they want to do, just because he is young, he is inexperienced, but he's shown that when under pressure, he will make mistakes. That is also due to the fact that they have no weapons. I mean, DJ Chark, Adam Thielen are their leading receivers, and Adam Thielen is like 35, and DJ Chark is coming off 2 season-ending injuries and just is not the explosive wide receiver he was coming out of LSU about 5 or 6 years ago. So they're just not quite consistent enough, I think, to really be competitive. But I think if the Bucs come out, they can play that field position game, confuse this defensive front, they should have a really good shot at coming out ahead in this division.
Yeah. No, I'm glad to now, what I've seen over the past month when people are watching film and seen other people comment on this, but about Bryce Young's plays, and we mentioned this before. Could he be playing better? Yes. Any team that goes 2-14, everybody on the team could be playing better. Man, you go and watch the receivers run the routes, and there's no separation whatsoever. Everybody's covered. And on top of that, too, he does not have a good offensive line at all. So he's struggling just to kind of not get destroyed week in and week out. But one saving grace for this Panthers team is they are going up against the worst secondary, the worst passing defense in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, too, their run defense isn't let me double check here just before I say this. But Buccaneers do have a good overall run defense when it comes to overall total yards in the season. But I think a lot of that, though, too, is teams normally pass the ball against them. That's how they normally beat the Buccaneers and grind down the Buccaneers. I think the Panthers and what they've been able to do with Chuba Hubbard and what they did when they first played, who had over 100 yards rushing, I think that's going to be a similar formula that they go with, because Adam Thielen could get some separation, but it's not going to be something that they are going to be able to rely on if they want to pull off the upset here.
Yeah, that front seven for Tampa Bay is really good. Shaq Barrett will be out for this game, but they still have Levante David. Vita Vea is one of the best run-stuffing defensive tackles in the league. And I just don't – he doesn't put up very many statistics, but he's just a 340-pound cinder block that you cannot move off that
That's a good point.
That center point. So, the secondary is not good, especially Carlton Davis is going to be out. So I do think that the Panthers will be able to pass the ball a little bit more successfully here. But one of the best things that I think that they could do, again, is just get after Bryce Young, because that will help cover up some of the lacking things in the secondary. Especially, Tampa's going to want to come out and win this division. The Panthers, after last week, it has to be so deflating to know that you guys have the number one pick and you don't get to pick it. You don't even have a first round pick as a whole. And I really think, I don't think they regret that trade per se, because I think they're happy with Bryce Young and the progress he's made this year, because you can see how much better he's improved. But man, you got to think, what if they just stayed at 9, drafted Jalen Carter, or I don't even know, somebody else, and then now they'd be right in line to have Caleb Williams this year. That's one of those things. Hindsight's 20/20, but then you would also still have DJ Moore as well.
Yeah, anything could happen too. And it's funny too. Baker's going to be going, like, maybe if they did that. Well, they released Baker before, but maybe Sam Darnold still a QB in Carolina. Honestly, anything could happen, and so maybe they take Darnell Wright instead of trading up there and trying to improve that offensive line. So anything could happen here, but we just know that Carolina's trying to play spoilers here in this game. Let's get into predictions, but before we do that, if not already, like, subscribe, and ring the bell to get notified whenever we create new content. After Week 18, we're doing all of our playoff predictions, but also doing season recaps and a bunch of mock drafts for all teams. 3 rounds, 7 rounds. So like, subscribe, ring the bell to get notified when that content comes out. Brian, who do you have winning this game and why?
I'm going to go with the Buccaneers. They're just playing for more, and I think they're going to come out, and I think Carolina's ready to get into the offseason. They're just ready to kind of start over, get back in the lab, and get better. And also, I think you look, Baker, he's on the threshold of a 4,000-yard season. He's also on the threshold of a 30-touchdown season. Rashad White is on the threshold of a 1,000-yard rushing season. And I really just think, like, those guys, they want to hit their numbers and kind of maybe get some bonuses. I'm not sure on contract-wise what some of those bonuses are, but usually there's some incentives for good performance built in there. So I think Tampa just has more to play for. Carolina's only won 2 games all year. I will say both have been at home, but I think Tampa's going to come in with the right game plan to win and get the job done.
Yeah, I as much as I want to disagree with you, because I know I'm 8 games down in total, and also I need my Falcons to win and the Buccaneers to lose. I am just struggling to see a way that the Buccaneers lose this game. It is extremely possible because the Bucs, one of their bugaboos was their offense is stalled out, and then they're going to be going up against a really good Panthers, or I would say really good, above average Panthers defense, a defense better than what the overall team record is. And I think that they could absolutely stymie the Buccaneers offense at points. That being said, though, I just don't know how the Panthers are going to be able to consistently put up points last week of the season. And so maybe they're playing some guys well to try and get some film out to kind of see going into the offseason. I'm still going to go with the Buccaneers. Also, as much as I really want to root for the Panthers here, but also, too, my Falcons don't deserve to go into the offseason, go into the postseason. And so, but does any team in the NFC South actually? I think that's
I think it's going to be out of pity. It'll be
out of pity. Yeah, like the past couple of years.
Yeah, exactly. So let's go ahead and wrap up this video here. We are both taking the Buccaneers in this matchup. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe and help Tyler and I reach our goal of getting to 3,000 subscribers by the end of the postseason. And while you're down there, go ahead and leave a comment on who you think is going to come out ahead in this matchup. Will it be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Will it be the Carolina Panthers? And other than that, we will see you guys next time.